Hi there. So in this video I'm going to give you a rundown of all the changes that we've made since the introduction of WHS into the Intelligent Golf igMember app. So just to sort of like summarize what we're going to go through, we're going to go through the handicap record and the associated pages with that. I'm going to give you a quick rundown on the difference between a non-return and a not started hole. There's been some confusion, and the club admins and ourselves would like to give you a very thorough demonstration of what the difference is. General play score and how to enter a general play score in the igMember app, and all the different processes for it. How to enter a competition scorecard when you're only scoring for yourself. How to enter a competition scorecard when you're scoring for another player at the same time, and then how to enter a competition scorecard via pace. So I'm just going to give you a rundown of all of these points. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the handicap record. I'm going to use this player on the left here, and we can simply navigate into the handicap record. And if you're an English club or a member of an English club, then you're going to be able to see your handicap record displayed here in the igMember app. We've color-coded the 8 scores that count, 8 being that you have 20 rounds in. So all of the scores that actually count to make up your handicap index have been color-coded in yellow with a star. And it just gives you a very quick, very easy look at which rounds actually include in your handicap index and which rounds aren't. In the second tab here, rounds is pretty much as it has always been. It's the same page as pre-WHS. It's just all the rounds that you've played at your golf club and your competitions at your current home club. And then in the third tab we have the calculator, and this is going to show you a course handicap and a 95% playing handicap for all the courses that are registered at your golf club. So you can see this has got quite a few courses here. It's just because it's a test site, so realistically you're probably going to have most clubs are going to have one course with a 18-hole course, and then different tees for that course, and then the 9-hole courses with the different tees for that as well. And then at the bottom we're going to have the calculator button here, so we can show the calculator, and this just gets you a manual way to calculate a handicap, course handicap for a course that you're playing which is in away, or if you, for example, want to calculate your friend's course handicap, then we've built this handicap for you. So quite simply, you just enter your handicap index down here, and we've defaulted with your own personal handicap, but let's say you're working out a friend's handicap. Let's say this particular friend has a 42.3 handicap index, and your slope rating for your golf course is 129. When we populate them two values in there, we can see that this player is going to get a course handicap of 48. So you know that, and then you can calculate the shots between you, or you stay for points, whatever, manually yourselves. But you now know that the course handicap is 48. So it's just a very simple digital calculator, just to look, be able to look up. We can just change that value very quickly. 3.4, for example, gives a course handicap of 4. We've also done a 9-hole calculator for you. So you have your handicap index, your slope rating. Once you've selected 9-hole, you then have the ability to enter your course rating. In this example, I'm using 35 and a par of 36. And then once we've populated that, we can see that a handicap index of on this particular golf course, this 9-hole course, is going to give a course handicap of 1. Change that value again there. Let's say our 42.3 friend. He's going to have a course handicap of 23 over them 9 holes. So it's just a very simple, easy to use course handicap calculator for 9 holes, and untick it for 18 holes, and it's just going to give you a very simple calculator to use. So hopefully that's of use to you. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about the difference between a non-returned hole and a not started hole. So I'll start off with non-return because that's basically the same as it was pre-WHS. And a non-return is a hole that you've picked up on because you've taken more shots than you can score with in Stableford, for example. So if if you may have had a 6 for nothing or something like that, so instead of carrying on, you've picked up and moved on to the next hole. Or if you're on a medal round, for example, and you've had an exceptionally large number of shots on that hole, and you're basically withdrawing from the competition, then you would mark that down as an NR, a non-return. A not started is a new feature that's been brought in for WHS, and basically once a player has completed 10 or more holes in a 18-hole round of golf, that round is applicable for handicapping. So for example, if you was to start a round of golf in the evening after work, for example, and you run out of light and are unable to complete all of the holes, then you could mark the holes that you have not been able to play as NS, or not started, and the holes that you did play are applicable for handicapping. Now you must complete at least 10 holes for the round to be applicable for handicapping, so you cannot have any more than 8 not started, and generally the not started holes would be in succession. So for example, you started on the 1st, played all the way through the 12th, and then from the 13th onwards you not started them because you ran out of light. Another example of maybe not started would be if your course has reduced holes during the winter, then they would be marked down as not started, and the card would still be acceptable for handicapping, because if you've completed 10 or more holes, then you're allowed to put that score in for handicapping evaluation. So it's a new feature, it's a big change, and it is quite important that you get it right, because a non-return will always count as a net double bogey. And a not started, if you've completed between 10 and 13 holes, then the first hole that you not start will be counted as a net bogey, and the remaining holes will be net pars. But if you complete 14 holes or more, then any holes that you not start will be counted as a net par. So you can see it's quite a difference on your handicap, because there's a big difference between net double bogey and net par for your handicap adjustment. So just be very careful which button you press, NR or NS, as it will make quite a considerable difference to your handicap. Okay, next we're going to go through general play scoring. So first and foremost, you always have to be within 5 miles of your golf club to be able to enter a general play score. We've got some geolocation for your golf clubs, and there's the GPS devices in your phones, and you have to be within 5 miles of the golf club to be able to enter a general play score. So if you live more than that away, you can't sit at home, for example, and pop a general play score in. You have to be within 5 miles of the club to be able to do it, and that's just as a protection thing, just to ensure that you are at the club to enter one of these general play scores. Also with golf, you have to pre-register your intent to play. So with general play scores, what we recommend is that you actually kick off the round of golf before you start, regardless of whether you're going to score the round as you go or whether you're going to score the round into the phone afterwards. Some people like to use the phone and just put the scores in as they go around the golf course, and that's absolutely fine. And other people will like to continue to use the paper scorecard system that we've been using before, and then what they'll do is they'll enter the score when they get back into the clubhouse or the car park, whatever, after the round, and they will enter the scores there. But one of the requirements of WHS and golf in general is the fact that you must inform somebody that you're playing a qualifying round of golf, and therefore your round is pre-registered. Now, to pre-register, all we do is literally start the round of golf. So quite simply, we're going to go into our handicap record, and we're going to select this icon at the top here, which is the best we could find to simulate a scorecard. And if we're within 5 miles of the clubhouse, we're going to be able to register a general play score, and then we can register that general play score. And once we're in here, then we can select the course that we're going to play on. And I can either play on the Wallsend golf course here, which is the 18-hole course, or I can select either of the 9s. I'm going to go for the 18 in this case. And then from there, I can select which tee I want to play. Do I want to play the whites, or am I playing the blues? play the whites in this case, and am I going to play medal or Stableford scoring? For this example, I'm just going to pop in a Stableford score, and then I can begin scoring. And that then has actually registered the intent that we're going to score. Now, if you're the type of person who wants to enter the scores as you go around on the phone, that's absolutely fine. You can just continue doing this. But if you're the sort of person who doesn't want to use their phone on the golf course and you want to do it on the old traditional paper scorecard with your pencil, then by all means do that. Pop your phone into your car or your golf bag, whichever it may be, and continue to score as you have, because you've now put a timestamp on your scorecard to say that you started when this card was created. So you've actually pre-registered your intent to input a qualifying score. So from there, we can then move into the score entry part of it, which is quite straightforward, same as it was beforehand. We pre-populate with a par for you to avoid you having to do quite so many clicks, and then you just simply use the plus and the minus to adjust this number to the score what you had. And as you can see there, because it's a Stableford competition, we've actually populated how many points you will receive. And just additional information there, we can see our name, we can see our handicap index, we can see our course handicap, and we can see our playing handicap. So everything's there in front of us. It's a par 4. It's just a test site, so it's not an official golf course as such, but we can see it's a stroke index 1, par 4, and then we can literally, you can see we've got playing handicap of 19, so we're going to get a 6 for 2 or a 7 for 1, and then we can quite simply move on to the second hole with the arrow to the right of the 2 there, and then we can enter the score we had for the next hole, and then move on to the third hole. Let's say, for example, we had a bit of a blob on this hole, so we just NR it, and then moving on, I'm just going to put some scores in here just to get through to the end. And as we go around the golf course, or when we get back into the car park, we're just simply adding in the score we had on every single hole, like so. Until we get all the way to the 18th hole. Now once we're on the 18th hole, we have to actually confirm the score we've had on the 18th, so I'm going to populate that and then move on to the first, and that's actually going to input the score. So we can see when we go to the card, we can see we've had bogeys on most of the holes there. We had an NR on the third there. We had a gross score of 39. Obviously we had an NR, so that's to take our gross score down, but we scored 17 points there. And then on the back 9 there, we had bogeys on each of the holes there. We had a gross 45 and 18 points. We can combine them two totals up. We got a 17 and 18 for 35, and 39 and 45 for a gross of 84. Once we're happy with that and we're accepting that, we can then finish the scorecard, and we get the option to upload a picture of our scorecard. And because we're doing a general play in the igMember app, this is highly recommended that you upload a photograph of the scorecard. So we're just going to simply press on that button. That's going to give us an option. We can take a fresh photograph, or if you've already taken a photograph in your phone and it's in your library, then you can just select it from your library. But in this case, I'm going to take the actual photograph. I've got a scorecard here, so as you can see, I'm just positioning my phone over the top of the scorecard, and I'm going to simply press the shutter button to take the photograph. If I'm happy with that and it looks alright, it's nice and readable, I can OK that and upload that photograph. It's just a confirmation, just check that I've definitely signed the scorecard and it's correct. Yes. And then once I've done that, another confirmation that I can then finalize my general play scorecard, confirming I got 35 points. And that's my general play scorecard finalized. Quite simple, quite straightforward. Use the pluses and minuses to up and down the score, left and right arrows to navigate through the holes, and then photograph and finalize at the end.